Greetings, everyone. I am not at another theme park, baby. And 1 year ago, I sat in front of this very bookshelf and I recorded my 2 years, thoughts about YouTube and where I've been on YouTube and where I am in YouTube. And just kind of like my thoughts about vlogging as a whole. I think I look back at that and I feel that there's a lot of good stuff in there. There's a lot of stuff that I feel like I got to really dig deep into, but there's also a lot of things that I feel helped me grow as far as a creator on this platform. And I think I've grown a lot thus far. And 2019 was a weird year. Let's talk about the good stuff. I want to start off with the good stuff, and then we're going to talk into the more meaty, things that like the deltas, not the bad things, just things that I wish I could learn a little bit better, and things that I kind of learned. But the good things is this. I feel like 2019 was my most creative year yet. I'm going to get right back to that too. But I feel like 2019 allowed me to become a lot more creative than I was. I feel like in my first year of vlogging, again, you kind of get into a situation where you're not really quite sure on what you want to do. You don't know how you're going to do it. You don't know if I'm making the right content, if I'm doing the right content, where do I fit, where do I not fit. And I feel like what happens, and this isn't really taken as any sort of shade, but I feel when you watch certain creators and you make content following up that creator, you make your content similar to that creator. So if I'm watching Tim Tracker, for example, and I've been really watching his videos a lot, when I start to vlog, you're going to make videos like Tim Tracker. It's inevitable. That's the only basis that you know. That's the only line that you know. And that's not a bad thing. It's a good thing because it allows you to learn through somebody who's been doing it. In this case, I wanted to use 2019 as a way to blaze my own path in many ways. I wanted to try to continuously to do different things. And knowing that I opened up 2019 doing and opening Art of Murder and doing more theater, I try to figure out, should I begin doing 2019 doing more theater, doing more sketch comedy things, doing more comedy bits? Should I do more scripted bits? Should I try to take more time and put in more things together? And I believe I've done that. And it's been it's been doing great. It's fun to do, to take a concept that has been kind of rattling in my mind and then make something from it. First was one of my favorite pieces, and it was the most kind of involved piece, and I really enjoyed it. And the feedback that you guys gave me from watching First was fantastic. It definitely seemed like it was a video that resonated with everybody, and all the other ones that kind of came into play. What's weird about that is that as I made First, there was a lot of other ideas that I wanted that got darker and darker in tone, and that's not the direction I wanted to go. So, but I also feel like it got more darker the more personal life kind of blended into the creative side. And so it became really difficult to make more of that same creative videos that I wanted. And at that time, it's just kind of like, I don't know what more I can do. Because sometimes when you're doing those scripted videos, when you're doing videos where you want to make a sort of sketch comedy, you'll find that a lot of creators, they have a plethora of friends. They got a cameraman, they have another friend that does a gag, they have this and they have this, and they have a lot of people in their arsenal that they can make one bit happen. Most of the time it's just me, and a lot of times it's just me. So it's really kind of hard to put together a quality product if it's just you, because it's you trying to act out all these parts. So it's trying to figure out how that works in the grand scheme of things and make it entertaining. And I don't want to be the only cameraman doing X. I want to, you know, be in front of the camera. I want to try to figure out how to put this together, what makes things funny. But I could try to put in more of an effort this year to do it. So that's kind of a goal, of definitely trying different things. And I think that's kind of like been like one of the biggest lessons that I feel like I've been very, very proud of in 2019, is that I tried really hard to get out there and take chances and take risks with my own content, to get out there and make something feel different than what's expected or what's normal, especially in this type of environment and in this type of group. How do you stand out? How do you stand out, and how do you become different? And that's the biggest question that I feel like I ask myself all the time. And it's something that I don't know the answer to. And because I don't know the answer to it, you know, there can be times it can get a little confusing as a creator on where you stand as far as, you know, the Disney vlog community. Trying to think of more positive things before we get on to like the deltas, but I did 2 plays. I just got done. Today was the day that I wrapped up for Vanya and Sonia and Masha and Spike. It was a very fun show. It was probably one of the best shows that I was able to exhibit a lot of humor. I was able to express a lot of funny things that I did in the show. It didn't really have a whole lot of taxing monologues that I needed, but it did the job. And also this year I did Shadowbox, which was a brilliant show. And I think with Shadowbox it allowed me to become a lot more of that actor that I knew I could. It pushed me and it motivated me to be better. And at points it was such a emotionally difficult show that at the end of it I was very proud of what I was able to achieve. I really enjoyed Shadowbox, and I was really happy that I was able to take part of that. And it allowed me to grow as an actor in many different ways. And for most of you guys that are watching, you know, it allowed me to be able to talk a little bit more about the acting piece and theater and what does it take to be an actor and what do you do when it comes to actor. It's not just being in front of the stage and saying lines or regurgitating lines. It's a lot more into it than a lot of people realize. There's a lot more decision making to make you, the audience, feel like it's believable, right? And you want to relate to that person that's on stage. But if I'm not doing a good job and you're not relating, then I'm not doing a good job as an actor. And that's kind of the key to it all. Those are kind of one of the only big things that I feel like I was very proud of. It's been a rough year. It has been an extremely rough year. And I feel like it was just day after day trying to figure out how to survive from one move to the next. I think in my personal life it was very, very rough. I don't need to rehash it because I've already told you guys what's going on. But it had been an outrageously difficult year for me. Because there was a lot of changes, and I think that's kind of one of the biggest things, is that there's a lot of changes, and there's a lot of changes that I personally wasn't prepared for, and there was a lot of changes that I, you know, just kind of fell in my lap, and I had to deal with it as I went. And I'm still kind of going through those changes now, but I feel like I have like a lot of a better, firm understanding of what those changes are and how to combat it and how to get through it. So eventually this bookcase setting may not be longer because I'm, you know, currently going to have to find another place, which is fine. Find another place, find another apartment, find another place to live. And that's kind of the biggest goal right now that I would like. And I think by the end of the year, what I really like to do is try to rent a house. So it's baby steps, but I'm definitely kind of back on this lower rung of life. But at the same time, if you're at the very lowest, you can only go up from here. So there's a very good thought. You can only go up. You can't go back down. There is no more ground unless you purposely give a shovel and you dig more underground and then fall into that underground, and then you just keep digging yourself into a bigger hole. But no, I'm as low as I can possibly go. Now it's time to go up, right? As far as YouTube goes, it's weird. It's been really weird. I ended 2018, going into 2019 with like 3,000 subs. I hit like 3,000 subs, like 3,000 and like maybe like 3,100, I think. And I ended 2019 with like still 3,000, probably more into 3,500. So that's good. It's moving at a slow pace. Not what I kind of envisioned, I think. And that's kind of the weird part, is that you get really, I think as a creator, you get really kind of frustrated about that. And you get really frustrated about it because, as much as I like to say it, as much as it's really hard to openly say it, you don't always look away from the other's food bowl. Now, you don't compare your content to another, but you see how they grow a little differently, and then you see how you grow, and it kind of puts you at a weird edge. It makes you kind of feel less than sometimes. It makes you feel like whatever you're doing doesn't work, and it's frustrating, and it upsets you. And I may not be the only creator that feels that way. Now, before any other creators decide to slide in my DMs and say, "That's not true, Sean, you don't speak for us," that's right, I don't. I can only speak for me. But I can also tell you that there's times it can be very frustrating as a creator to watch people that you know, like, literally just skyrocket past you. And you're trying to figure out what's going on. What did I do wrong? Do I need to do this differently? Should I do that differently? And you really question like what your content is. And because you're questioning the content and you try to do something new, and because you think that's what people want, and that's what you kind of like, you try to read the waves, and you try to read the trends, and then you look at the comments of people's videos, and you kind of see what people like and what people don't like, but you kind of lean more into what people don't like, so that way you can kind of take part of that advantage too. But you lean heavily into what they don't like, and they go, "Well, I want something different," so you make something different, and it's not what the people want. And so you're in a sick cycle of trying to figure out what everybody wants and not what you want to do. And so you kind of lose yourself in this creative ocean, and you're just slowly drowning. And that's kind of how it felt for the most part. So I feel like there are times like I feel super creative and I want to do the things I want to do. I enjoy doing the things I want to do, and the things that I want to put out, and the things I want to make. And if you guys watch it for me, then you guys know, hey, Sean is going to put out some really weird stuff and some really different stuff, and probably things that's going to challenge you and things that's going to make you think. For me, it's always kind of been, you know, the things that I want and the things that the people want. And one of the big things that I heard a lot of people talk about, and this is just something that I used to hear when I was coming up in YouTube, is to say, you know, the key to becoming YouTube and being a success on YouTube is consistency. Now, nobody ever defines what consistency means, and that's probably the most frustrating thing about it, is that they'll say, you know, you got to be consistent. You got to be consistent with your content. Consistent. Well, what does that mean? What does that mean? You can say the word consistent and you're throwing it out there, but it has no meaning, it has no depth, it has no meat to it. Here's what that really means. You can put out a video every single day. Every single day. That's not consistent. You're just doing a daily vlog. That's fine. You can be consistent. But I think the consistency part that they talk about is you want to be consistent in finding one subject that you do over and 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 over again, and exploiting that. That's consistency. It's the definition of insanity. But this time, you can either get the same results or you're gonna get different results. So you put yourself in a situation where you're making the same content every day, every single day, all the time. And you gain trust because they come to you because they know that this is what you're going to put out and this is what you're going to do, and I know you're going to do this, and I trust that I'm going to see Disney content. Probably not you, probably not want to see you, I just want to see what the park says, and that's fine. I just think it becomes a confusing matter for most new creators. When you hear consistency and think it's going to be every day, it shouldn't be that. So they vlog every single day, or they live stream every single day. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you just do it whenever you want, or you can make whatever you want. And I feel like I've been citing on the camp of I want to make what I want. And I feel like that's really what it should be about, is making what you want. Because if you make what you want, like, people are going to expect you, and you want to force the public to face you and to enjoy you and to watch what you're going to do next. You know, I think that's been kind of like really like the biggest hurdle, especially when you're trying to like walk a different path. I feel like for so long, especially like with me and Disney content, and don't get me wrong, I'll continue to do Disney content. I love going to the parks. I love going to the parks. But I can't put myself in the position of what everyone else is doing. I feel kind of pushed away in a lot of different ways. And I know that it kind of sounds crazy. It kind of feels like I'm kind of shoved away from that life, that community. It's odd. It's hard to explain, but it just feels like I'm kind of like on the outside for a while. It probably isn't like that for reality. It just kind of feels that way. And the more I kind of felt like I'm being pushed out, the more I felt I wanted to rebel. And the more I wanted to rebel, the more I was just like, I don't want to do this Disney stuff. I don't want to do Disney stuff. I want to make my own original content. I want this, I want this, I want this. And it works and it doesn't work at the same time. But I also felt like I wanted to be very rebellious at the fact that it shouldn't have to be that way. It shouldn't have to be that I have to put myself in a situation of filming nothing but Disney content if I'm going to be viewing myself as a success. And that's the thing, is that I want to be a success, but I don't want to have to feel like I'm living in the shadow of everyone before me or after me who managed to get more subs than me, and living in that shadow and living in a way that I can't compete. And that's kind of where my headspace became, and that's kind of where I am now. I find it's very frustrating, but it's liberating to be in a position where I don't have 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, 50,000, 100K subs to feel like I'm in a box that I have to continue to make like one bit of content. I have 3,533 subs where I can just do virtually anything I want, and I can make the content I want. If I want to do more commentary videos, which I kind of like, they're really fun, then I can make those type of videos, and I can take my time. I don't have to make a video every single day or try to release 2 in a week. If I gotta make 1 video a week, that's fine, but I can craft it and I can make it good, and I can put something together that at the end of the day, I enjoy. And something that hopefully like reaches out to you and it resonates with you and it strikes you emotionally, and you think about it, and you're moved, and you want to motivate yourself. I want that content that sticks with you. I want that content that if I make it, it's in your brain. That it's in your brain and you're thinking about it and you're talking about it and how it affects you. That's kind of what I want. It's hard to make that content that sticks with you if I'm Disney Media and I'm showing you all the nice cupcakes and I'm riding all the rides. That doesn't stick with you. I mean, it helps if you're not home and you want to ride the Disney rides and you want to be in the Disney park, but it doesn't. It's like McDonald's, you know. It's fun to make, and I'm not saying it's not fun. It's super fun to be at the parks and record. But I've really slowly gotten to the thought that I'm capable of much more, and I want to push myself more, which is kind of what I like in 2020, and it's a big gamble at this point. So the big gamble is, here I am sitting in this chair, Sean, thinking about what I did in 2019, thinking about like how I spent 2019 in a position where I just was frustrated constantly over the content that's being put out and my content, and wondering why people want the same thing, but wondering if I'm delivering the same thing. So you go back and you go, well, am I making the content for me? Or am I making it for you? And then you forget all that core that started from way back in the day when Sean and Negro Orlando 30 had a video called What is Negro Orlando? And Sean in the past helps remind Sean of the future. This is really what the video is about, and this is what the channel is about, what I want to do. So I'm going to bet on myself a lot more than I have, and I'm just going to put out the content I want, which means that there may not be videos every like 2-3 days. It might be a video every week, might be a video every month, might be a video every single day. Just whenever that spark, that creative spark happens, and it just makes something good, it makes something amazing, it makes something that makes people think. I want to motivate you, I want to challenge you, I want to watch you become emotional over a video. Happy, sad, mad, angry, you're emotional. I got you. When Rise of Resistance opened, one of the big things I talked about in that video was that I didn't want spoilers, and I would really stay to it. I don't want spoilers, and I'm not going to film spoilers, and I'm certainly never going to film on a ride that just opened ever, for as long as I live. Probably won't. If I go ride Mickey's Runaway Railway, you're never going to see a video from me, so don't expect one. If I go opening day, I'll ride the ride. But don't expect any on-ride video from me. But I said that. And I think the response was emotional. There's a lot of people frustrated. There was a lot of people upset. There were a lot of people mad. There's a lot of angry arguments. But I got you. I said something and I triggered a discussion. I triggered a discussion and I triggered a talking point. I created a shift in the culture, almost creating a paradigm shift, because I like that word. I felt I opened up a discussion that was taboo. And that kind of made me feel good. It makes me feel good to know that I can put out a video that we can talk about. And then earlier this year I did a video about diversity. And I feel like this is probably one of the most non-talked about secrets as far as the Disney community. And I still feel that way. I felt that way last year, and I feel that way even more today. It started a discussion. I got you emotionally. I got you. And we don't do that enough, I think, as creators. I don't challenge like the people and how they think. And I feel that's a strength. Either which way, I feel like the the point that I'm trying to make is that I feel like I kind of have an idea on like what I want to do with my videos. I have an idea on like where my videos are going. I have an idea on where I want this channel to go. And this channel goes the way that I want it to go. It's not going to be a Disney video channel. It never was. I'm never going to get Disney media. I'm never going to have it. There's no way. There's no way. There's no fucking way I'm going to have Disney media. It's impossible at this point. There's no possible way that I will ever have Disney media. And that's okay. I don't need it. I know I'm not going to get media for a whole lot of different things. I know that I'm probably not going to get free stuff in the mail. I'm not going to get a lot of Patreons. I'm not going to be able to do this YouTube thing full time. I'm probably not going to get 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm probably not going to get 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm not going to have any of that. It'd be great if I did. But what I will have is my creativity and the ability to make what I want, how I want it, and the ability to make you think, and the ability to put out content that allows you to think too, and the kind of content that stays with you. One of the best horror movies that come out in like 1999, I think it was even 2000, was The Blair Witch Project. Now, it wasn't a good movie. It wasn't like this like stellar movie as far as CGI goes and horror movies go, but it stuck with you, and you didn't know why. Was it the handheld camera? Was it the found footage aspect? Was it this? Was it that? Because it wasn't CGI. It wasn't actors. It was just a found footage movie filmed in the woods that gave a very ominous horror feel, and it stuck with you for days. I'm not saying I'm gonna make the next Blair Witch Project, but I just want something that you think about all the time. Not to say that like Disney videos won't be going away. I love doing Disney. Like I said before, I'm a big Disney fan. I love going to theme parks. I love going to theme parks. I love vlogging the theme parks. But there's not much more I can do at the theme parks that not a lot of people have already done. So we'll take a different angle from there. Somehow, some way. But we'll have fun no matter what we do. That's really it. As far as like 2019 goes, it's just some of my thoughts and some of where I want to go and just my year in review. I don't have much more I can say of this year. I think 2019 was definitely one of the hardest years I've had to live through, and I feel that it had been difficult, and every day had become difficult, and it was just trying to figure out how I can kind of crawl through and survive. But the funny thing about having bad days is that if you're here and you're watching this video and you've had a bad day, hang in there, because you survived every bad day that you've had for your entire existence. You survived it and you've overcome it, and that's beautiful. That's a beautiful thing to say, that I survived every bad day that I've ever had. It may be a bad day today, but you survived and you made it another day. And I feel like I've done the same thing. I've survived and made it to another day. And here I am talking to you. Make those goals, grow, change, be better, and be different. And walk a different path. If you feel that there's way too many people in a pathway and on a street, feel free to take the side street. Feel free to take the road that nobody traveled. Pull off and drive on the dirt road and reach your destination faster. I think that's what we should all do. But that's it. I think I've rambled enough, and I don't know much more I can say. I just really wanted to kind of talk about like my 2019 and just my thoughts about YouTube in general. That'll be fun stuff. I got a lot of things that I want to do, but there are things I want to do. So we're gonna have a blast. Thanks for watching. Smash that subscribe button, baby. And I didn't wear a scarf. I just really wanted to sit down and talk with you guys. And just, all right, I'm out.